Okay, hello and welcome again. Where last we left off, we finished priming all of the masons. I think, hold on, let me get them a little closer. I think the prime job came out pretty well. There's a few spots that probably need some work, but generally speaking, they came out pretty great. So we're going to do the same thing to the Brewers. Look at this guy. All these guys are really cool. I can't wait to paint them. And I mentioned this in the last one as well. But so all these hooks and stuff like that, if they're bent for you when they get them out of the package, just put them in some hot water. Put them in some hot water. And then like just kind of, straighten them out. And then like blow on them or stick them in some cool water or run cool water over them. And they'll stay exactly where they are. I mean, that's what I had to do for mine. And I mean, that looks pretty straight. So let's get our airbrush all set up here. Just putting in some primer, couple drops. I may have put a little too much in there. You want this basically the consistency of like a McDonald's milkshake, you can kind of think of. You want it to be a little thick, but not too thick, because it does need to go through the airbrush there. So I'll put that there. We'll turn on our... Oops. I always do that. Oh. Oopsie. Oh, come on now. Don't do this to me. There we go. Whew. Just testing it out here, making sure that all the stuff's coming out. It looks like it is. It is a little thin, but that's alright. We'll work with it. So we're just going to, again, hold about 4 or 5 inches away. And just like we did last time, we're doing short bursts. Short bursts, just like that. Right there on the top like that. This little cat guy. Focus on him. Focus on cat guy. Pretty cool looking. Can't wait to paint him up. I also moved the lights up. One of my friends told me that the lighting was a little off, so I fixed that in a jiffy. I just moved the lights up top, and that kind of fixed everything for me. Ish. I mean, let me know, but... Again, holding pretty decent away. And we're just kind of spraying all along this guy. And again, if you're, allergic to this, the reducer or to the paint fumes, I would definitely get a cleaner. That way, all that stuff doesn't go up into you and stuff. Me personally, I don't care. I can breathe just fine, and the dust particles don't really bother me. You probably should, though. I mean, don't listen to me. You know what I mean? I don't know everything, Look at that. Nice and clear coat. Very nice. So let's just keep trucking along here. These guys are obviously going much faster. And I'm kind of speeding through these too, so that's my plan here, is to speed through these, get these all done. See how I did that? I kind of left it run open a little bit. You can do that from time to time. Just let it run open, kind of get that even coat on all that stuff. Man, the detail on these guys are ridiculous. Look at that. That is so great. Alright. So we got 2 left. I got a little, and just ran out, so we're going to put a little bit more in here. I did put too much reducer in there, so I'm just going to kind of scrape off all that stuff on the side. Give it a little swirl here. I'm trying to just make sure that it all comes through. Yeah. So the big dude now. Oops. Can't lose my focus on the X there. So the big dude, I'm going to do the same stuff on him. Look at all that detail that's popping through there. Look at all that. It's coming right through. I want to make sure we get the top of his head too, right? We got it all. This is usually where the people are going to grab. You know what I mean? They grab the most meatiest place they can. So we want to make sure that his back is good and primed. His little bitty hands, because his hands might get, you know, they might get grabbed, but that's not usually where people grab, because they know it's delicate, so they kind of grab away from him. But on his chest and his back, we want to make sure that that's good and primed, because, oh, itchy nose. Because that's where everybody's going to want to grab to move him, you know what I mean? And that's what happens. Perfect, look at that. Look at that right there. Hold on, let me be focusing on him. Dang it. I gotta turn on some auto-focusing. I never really recorded stuff before, so you gotta forgive me. But I think he looks pretty good. Pretty good primed. So now let's go to the next one. The last one, I should say. Look at that, just going right on there. And you want to try to get his face real good. You want to try to get all this stuff really good. So, let's go back to some of these. The first one. This first one we did, it was really thin, so I'm just going to hit it again with this thicker stuff. Oh yeah, that's good. And we got a little bit more. The cat looks alright. Oh, just ran out. Look at that. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but you can see it right now. Okay, we're going to put that to the side for right now. So now, since we got all these painted up, right, they're all primed, all ready to go. Man, look at that. That's really good. This guy's the best, man. I love this guy. Look at this guy. Can't wait to paint him up like a good old Scotsman. Let's look at his back, too. So they're all primed up, ready to go. So for the team, right, this is the other team, this is the Masons. What you want to do is, since this is a team, right, all of them kind of should fit the same, similar style, right, all color schemes and stuff like that. Oops, come back here, you. So a good thing to do, and at this stage, while we're letting both of these kind of cure up, right, these are pretty much done, they're pretty much dry. I could probably paint them tonight, but I don't have time for that. The next step, though, is to select the colors that we're going to use. All the colors. And I think what we'll do is tomorrow or maybe Sunday, I'm not sure, but I'll sit down and we'll pick out colors together, and I'll go through my thought process on how we put the colors on, where we're going to put the colors at, and for each model. And we'll do the Masons first, just like we do here. We'll do the Masons, and then we'll switch over to the Brewers. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to make the goalposts for each of these. So once we get them all painted up, both teams, then we'll go back and we'll do another video where I create the goalposts for each of these. The Masons should be pretty easy in my opinion. The Brewers might be a little bit more difficult to think of a good goalpost for them. But yeah, you can see that the coat went on really even for these guys. The balls look great too. I know that's kind of weird to say, but also the balls should be painted in a similar fashion as the color scheme for that. So keep that in mind when you're painting these. Look at that. She looks super cool too. Look at that pose. That's a very action pose. Oh, and you know what? Another thing. Let's get a super up close here. Oh, let me go right here. So you can see here that I did miss a little bit of spots. So like in his shoulder area, obviously underneath his kilt and underneath his hammer there. You can go ahead, if you really want to, you can put just a little bit on a paintbrush and do it that way. Me, personally, I think this came out just fine. And when we're going to paint him, I think he's going to be great. Look at that. Super great. Let's take a good close at this monkey, because this monkey is going to be... I love this monkey. He's just too cool. Little baboon. Now, obviously, everybody's asking, does he have the butt? He does not have the butt, so we can't give him the butt. There you go. Look at that. You see he's got a little foot here. Now I was going to base these, but I couldn't actually find my sand. There's somewhere, because we just recently moved, so I couldn't find my sand. So for these, I'm just going to paint them black, the black bases. I know it's pretty lame, but I think for this particular build that we're going to be doing, just to get them painted and kind of go through the thought process, maybe in a different video or down the road or something like that, I'll show you how I base them. And let me grab this one over here real quick. That one, and we'll grab this one. So like on something how we could base them is we could base them like this. So let me actually hold on. Let me hold it like this. So when we base them, now this is just these are like super cheap skeleton minis, but you can see the base on my approach on basing. So they were on this horrible looking stand, but like the little thing that goes across the middle here. But I put on some pieces from Hearst Arts that I had, and I just painted those up like stone, and I think they came out really great. And on the table, they looked just as great. And here's another one. I have like little bit footprints in them. No Hearst Arts stuff, but if you zoom in on it again, you can see like down that middle, that's where they're little. You could probably chop them off. I'm not that great at chopping stuff off like that, so I just kind of left them on. And now how I created this base, right? It's actually just a wood disc that I bought at Hobby Lobby, obviously. And then I got washers, metal washers from Home Depot. You get them by like the hundreds or whatever. Really cheap. I think it's an inch and a half washer. Inch and a half washer, and the disc is about 1.5 inches as well. So you have these two pieces, and then you use this stuff also from Hobby Lobby. This stuff right here, Milliput, I think. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. I think it's Milliput. But yeah, again, it's up there in price, but there's a decent amount, and it's a 2-part putty. You mix the 2 parts together. There you go. You mix the 2 parts together, and you can mold it on however. Focus. You can mold it however you want. So let's go back to this. So you can see here that on the wood disc, I just put a little bit. I didn't put a whole lot. And then I just kind of warped around the feet, and I put little bitty holes in there for where I felt the feet should go from him chasing down a hero or something like that. So that's 2 ideas on how we're going to be basing. How I would have based, I should say, sorry. And another 2 basing ideas that I have is if we look at these. These are, again, with a little bit, like this is a little bit of Milliput. And this could be for anybody that could just fit on this. 1-inch base, again. But I kind of just let it, I had a little bit extra and I didn't know what to do with it. So I just put it on there. And then I put a little bit of stuff. Now, I don't know what that is. It could be a tail, it could be skin, whatever you want, really. But there's that one, and then this one, this is the sand. So this is my sand technique. Paint the wood disc, put a little bit of sand on there, and then you got yourself a great looking little piece of maybe moss, or who knows what you're stepping on there. Well, but that's it for today, guys. I think all the minis came out really great. Once they're totally dry, well, like I said, we'll do the video where we're talking about the paint choices and how I'm going to actually paint each of these minis and what they could look like. So, peace out, guys.